Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. David Price retires on a stool after the fourth round in his fight with Sergey Kuzmin at Wembley. It's not the result that we wanted or expected, or the outcome I should say, but that's exactly what happened. So the actual fight itself, it was quite entertaining. I had it 2-2 on my card. There was a bit of action in the third and fourth round especially, but after that fourth round, David Price just didn't want it anymore. And after the fight, he said he'd re-injured his arm. He'd come into the fight with a slight tear in his bicep, aggravated it in the second round. And by the end of the fourth round, he said he could barely move his arm. So disappointing end to the fight, to say the least, but it's a victory for Sergey Kuzmin, the best of his career. And Price actually said he wants a rematch if Kuzmin is open to it. Kuzmin said yes, preliminary, he would be willing to do a rematch, but of course the snag being if his team and such can come to an arrangement. So that probably means a rematch isn't going to happen. But for Kuzmin, a good win. And the fight itself, had barely really got going. I had it 2-2 on my card. First round, a bit of a feel-out round. David Price landed a nice left hook and an uppercut. Kuzmin got a couple of body shots away. Round 2, there was a bit more aggression from Kuzmin. That was clearly a Kuzmin round. Round 3 and 4, it was a lot of trading back and forth. And I think it was in the fourth round. And even though Price said that he could barely move his arm, he did stun Kuzmin at one point. And Kuzmin as well, he was landing some heavy shots, and he does have heavy hands. And obviously Joe Joyce found that out a few years ago when he got stopped by Kuzmin in the amateurs. And this fight, it didn't really deliver in the end, simply because it ended early. I think people were either looking for David Price to get knocked out or to come up with an upset win. But Kuzmin, he looked pretty decent in there. But 4 rounds, it was only just starting to open up. And Price, he was starting to tire. Perhaps he knew with that arm, and if his conditioning wasn't holding up, that it was only going to go one way. But clearly, he sort of said, look, I don't want to continue and potentially injure it so badly that I'm out for a year. So, in some respect, it's a smart move from David Price, but a disappointing one for the fans. It wasn't quite the rock'em sock'em action that we were hoping for, with it ending in some sort of spectacular result, either with a Price win or Price getting KO'd. But I would say Sergey Kuzmin, he looked pretty decent. He proved that he can mix it at the contender level, although a lot of people would say that David Price is not even a gatekeeper anymore. But, David Price, he hits hard, and Kuzmin felt the weight of those punches. Yeah, Dillian Whyte, after the fight, he was part of the Sky commentary team. He sort of said he wasn't really convinced by David Price and what he'd done. He said he felt this was David Price's last big opportunity, and he would have rolled the dice. If his arm was hanging off, he still would have rolled the dice and really tried to get through the fight and see what happened. But David Price, obviously knowing his body, the potential severity of the injury, just wasn't prepared to lay it all on the line and injure himself anymore. And, I can understand that as well. So disappointing for fans, and it's hard to take too much out of this fight for Kuzmin, except that he showed, beyond the 12 previous journeymen that he'd faced, that David Price, his 13th win, that he can mix it at the contender level. What did you make of it all? Should David Price have continued? Did he do the right thing? And what did you think of Kuzmin? He did show some heavy hands in there. He did show he's got fast hands. But he was also getting caught by Price quite a bit. There were some exchanges in there where he was taking some heavy shots, and obviously he was stunned in the fourth. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.